Hey guys, welcome back. It's Victoria. Hope you guys had a great weekend so far. Wanted to drop this video here real quickly to talk about one, the easiest trade, the easiest absolute setup, and just go and review real quickly the cycle. Okay, so there's two things that I want to show you. We're going to show you the cycle that happened in 3 days, because usually, like I said, like we always talk about, uh-oh, that wasn't very pretty. Let me see if I can try this again. So this is what I wanted. I needed to be able to, anyway, let's do it. Okay, so we know the cycle is usually 3 days, 3 pushes, up or down, and 3 ADR. Okay, here's the ADR that I drew on here. And usually we'll see multi-sessions M's and W's, right, within those 2 trading sessions. However, you don't want to discount or forget about the head and shoulder pattern. Okay, we have the head and shoulder pattern, and then we have this is inverted, obviously. Then you have like the half of Batman. This almost looks like a thumbs up, but we have also like the half of Batman, which is like a funky looking W. That's what it looks like to me when it's inverted, that you may see as well. These are all very powerful. Sometimes with the W's and the M's, you may get a little bit confused with it. But if you just be patient and pay attention, I'm going to show you what to look for on the next day. If you think that that you're in a new trend going down or up, you want to, the next day should be a safety trade. And if it doesn't look like this, then you're not ready yet, right? The cycle's not ready. Okay, so isn't this beautiful, right? This pair actually gave us everything that we wanted within the 3 days. And here again was when the cycle first went long, we had a bull run, and then here was the ADR. And these lines here represent the support and resistance from H4 as well, right? So it's just real beautiful, right, to see. This is where we're headed for in terms of where you're going to exit. Okay, so on the higher time frame, again, you have your 3 pushes, you have your consolidation, just like this. Sometimes your consolidation can look like an escalade going up or down, or a staircase, right? But nonetheless, those are the areas of consolidation. Sometimes you'll get lucky and you can actually trade them, and sometimes you just can't. It's impossible to trade. Okay, and usually your first 1 to 2 days, it's not good to counter. Like sometimes you won't get lucky, but the second day in New York, you will most likely get lucky, because prices for when you're going long are going to come all the way down and hit the low. So you want to make sure you identify the low, right? And then it's going to go back up to the high. Okay, so these 2 days, there are times where you can get lucky and you can counter them. But when I'm trading the trend, I like to just stick with the trend. And I'm always going to be looking for reasons to go long if we're in a bull cycle, or looking for reasons to go short if we're in a bear cycle. Okay, so this thing has confirmed, it looks like it confirmed to me that we're now in a new peak formation. So this to me was a safety trade that happened on Friday. So I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop down to M15. Okay. And every time that we see that peak has confirmed, and we may have missed this first trade here, right? Which is fine. You didn't miss anything, because the second day you get a second chance. So this, after that drop, usually you'll have like, this is the first level of consolidation, and then you'll be able to take that entry right off of the EMA. Okay. And also note that you'll see the 50 and 200 cross right here. So this is your ultimate safety trade. Okay. And that's it, right? That's the only trade that we're looking for. We're looking to go short at this time, and where we're going to exit, as you can see, there was two options here. Every time I see the psychological lines here, if you can see that, okay, the black lines, I will always opt to go and put my exit there, and it tapped it, okay? It tapped it. Sometimes if you notice that it got close and didn't tap it, just go ahead and exit, right? Because this happened on a Friday, and I don't recommend that we hold trades over the weekend, because you know, it could gap up really high on when the market opens. You don't know, so just better be safe than sorry. Okay, so that is the trade. That's all we're looking for. Okay, so let me go over to put this back here. Okay. So now I'm going to hop on over back to the main screen here. And now I want you guys to look at New Zealand dollar. Okay. Now, this one is actually, it's showing in here, it shows 7 days, but really technically it's 6, because for this broker, it's counting the weekend, right? You see how Sunday and Monday are together there. It's actually counting that as a day. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. It's really on Friday, it was 6 days. When the market opens, then it will be 7, and then that's going to change to 8. So the reason why I wanted to show you this, this is an example of where instead of resetting or what's the word I'm looking for? I guess it's resetting, right? But it wasn't reset to where this started off as a new peak, right? They just started the cycle over again, right? Because, you know, like I said, you would come here, you'd count your push, right? And then you'd see that, oh, we got our first leg here. And, you know, I would look, but me, technically, if I don't see this on day 2, where I see usually it will give me this on the day 2. I'll check the lower time frame to see if that's where it's going to be at. But usually on the higher time frame, you're looking at this and you're thinking that now it's going to go long. But if you're seeing this, where these EMAs are spread out like this, and price is way underneath the Mayo like that, right? If it's not going to break this 50, right, then it's still going short, right? And so here we had where it tested it. Let me change this color so you can see it. So here we had where price tested the 50, and then down here it did the same thing. We had where we call this the out of the band, right? Now this is on a higher time frame. This should still be the same on the lower time frame. And then here it retested, right? So I'm going to say RT, it retested the 50, and now we got our reversal dot and we're going short. And then you can see right here, it did it again, right? Now it's back in, right? This is what they will say, back in the band, right? And here's the retest, okay? Well, actually, it fits more so here, right? Because this is where the TDI is and everything. So this was out of the band. Now we're back in the band, and you have this divergence here, as you can see how price is. Let me clear that and use one of these. It's probably easier to see. You see this right here, you got divergence and the TDI, and then price is, it's like pretty flat, okay? So you can technically, call this your test, right? Your retest, and then your entry. That is your entry right there, okay? And they just repeated the cycle again. They gave us another 3 levels of drop, right? ADR, the 3 ADR is completely blown out, right? This does happen, right? So just, you know, just so you'll know, right? Sometimes this does happen. They blow out the ADR and you're still dropping. It's like, man, they're still dropping. This thing is melting. I think this was also happening in the euro dollar, how it just continued to drop. But with the euro dollar, it pretty much, it's the same. It's at 5 peak formation high. And I was thinking it was going to change around here, but it didn't, right? And it just continued to drop, right? So again, if prices come up here and they test the 50, okay, so we are, let me draw this again. So this was 1, 2, 3. So on that third day, I had drawn where I was thinking this thing could possibly reverse on us because it was the third day, right? And then when you come to the market and you see that one, it didn't break it, right? It just tested it. And here's another thing. Sometimes it will get close to the blue volatility bands, and sometimes it'll completely come out of them, right? But it didn't do that. And again, this is a higher time frame, right? But you can still see that it gave us the test, the retest entry. So test, retest, entry, right? This is like out of the band, in the band, entry. And why is this the entry? One here, you can see how it matches up nicely with that pin off of the 50. And then we enter at that moment to continue to go short. And this thing just melted, right? So this was your 33 trade right here. Okay, totally melted. All right. So now let's go take a look at just probably one more. Look at the Eurocad, because this was a 1 peak formation on Friday, right? So again, there's a 1 peak formation. And again, the dashboard does all the heavy lifting for us. Prints the 380R, we don't have to do all that. It has the order blocks on here, so you can use that for your test and retest and entry, right? You don't have to draw any of that. All we're looking for is to go long, right? We have a peak that's confirmed. 1 peak formation happened on Thursday. If you happen to be available for this, right, then great. If not, then you know the next day you're going to get paid. So look at that. So your entry is right above, right here. And you look at the TDI, you had the squeeze, and then totally went, just broke out of there, right? Let me bring my tool again. So here's, excuse me, on M15, you had your out of the band, which was your test. Okay, back in the band, okay, your retest, and then your entry once price crossed above the RSI. Remember, the green line is the RSI. The red is also an RSI, but it's deemed the trade signal line, right? So once that crossed, that's when you did your entry. And you can see how prices were just hanging out here on the 50. And then once that bar closed, right? This one you could have probably gotten a little early, but this was your entry once prices opened above here and closed. I mean, you literally want to wait till, they always say to wait till the prices close, right? And then you take that next one. But usually, guys, when it's a safety trade like this, I don't even wait like that. I'm in like totally, okay? So let me clear this real quick. How many pips did we get? And again, this was Friday. So again, I'm not looking to hold this. I'll take this, I can take this right to the psychological line. This was the Asia low, or I can take it right to the 800, and it did both that. That was 40 pips. If you put 2 orders on there, 80 pips, 3, and so on, right? And that's it. That's the trade for the day. You're done, okay? Have a great weekend. All right, so don't go looking for trying to do anything else. Okay, we'll do one more. All right, so this one was a 1 peak formation high, and the other one was a 1 peak formation low. So same thing. The peak confirmed the previous day. All we're looking for is to take the entry underneath the 50, right? And that's it. Totally. So look here again. This is just a new way of looking at the test and retest. It was so funny. Someone in the group brought up, you know, I never understood what the test and retest was. I said, me neither. I didn't understand that stuff. I was so confused, right? And then when I learned, started learning BTMM, they were talking about in and out of the band. And I'm like, what the what, right? So guys, this is just another way to look at it that now makes complete sense, right? Again, we are looking, obviously this happened later on, right? But we know we are looking for prices to open underneath the 50 in the 13, right? If you had the 5 on here, I don't use that anymore, but I bet you that 5 and 13 cross was right there, right? Totally bet you it was there. But I don't use it anymore, right? It's up to you if you want to use it. We also have the reversal dot here, right? That's also giving us another confirmation for reversal. So again, look at here, we have prices out of the band. So this is your test. We're back in the band, right? Okay, isn't that beautiful? And then here's your retest. So this is in, right? And then here's your retest. And then we have our entry right there. We enter, prices are crossing the market baseline, which is the yellow line for those who don't know. I'm trying to spell here, but I just can't with this thing. And then look how beautifully that matched up with that, right? So now let's get out, let's see how many pips that was. And again, I would take this, right? Look, it's just so nice how it went right to the psychological line right here. It tapped it right there, right? Depending on where you're, sometimes, you know, I'll put my stop loss just right on top of it so it will tap it, right? And if it doesn't tap it, then I'll just go ahead and close it manually, right? But you had 2 options here because that's another, you know, if I see that this is close by, you have yesterday's low here, and then you have the ADR low, that's another option. Or you can also wait for the reversal indicator to pop back up, okay? So those are your options, but don't hold the trade, right? Do not hold the trade over the weekend. Just go ahead and take your money and be done with that thing. All right, so I'm not much of a fundamental trader. I'm more of a pattern trader, but I do go to Forex Factory and I do check. You have to check the news, obviously, to see what's going on, because in my other videos, I think I was talking about the news and recently, and this hasn't happened before, but just recently, you know, with all the news going on, this whole month of January has been full of a whole bunch of news, and my entire, this broker, I don't know, for whatever reason, or this MT4, I don't know, but it will just freeze up. I'm like, man, I can't even get in here and enter a trade. So I just said, you know, bump that. I just won't do it. Right. So it's really up to you if you're going to trade the news or not. But the news really just does 2 things. Well, I'm going to add a 3rd thing. It will confuse you, number 1. Number 2, it's going to complete the cycle, or it's going to immediately start a new cycle. Like it'll finish the cycle and start one brand new right there. Okay, those three things that you know, the news does for people. So most people just hang tight. I mean, these pips, these opportunities are endless, right? Look at that, all these one peak formations that you could be taking, right? And you don't need to really be stressed over anything else, right? So you want to focus on that one trade that you're going to take, that you're going to be able to see easily, and you're going to do with ease, right? Again, without stress, without worry, you know that this is your trade. I remember watching or listening to Steve Burrow's video, and he would always stress about the safety trade and how super duper easy it was. And, you know, he was always like, panicked. I don't know if it's panicked, but I think he was a little disappointed. Like he didn't understand why people couldn't get it, right? And I would be sitting there like, I know I can't get it either. And I just would want to learn how to do it. Like, and it, you know, it was frustrating because I couldn't figure it out. Obviously I had to, you know, learn this stuff on my own. I wasn't taking any formal training on this stuff. I was just searching online and learning it. And then it just finally came to me. So I just want to stress to you, how do you get to it? And what do you do, right? What are you looking for? Because a lot of videos were on, you know, safety trades, but it was never super duper clear to me that it was, you know, after the new peak, right? So we're looking at the USDCAR. This is another one. This one really moves during Asia and early in London. So most of the time I am not available for this thing. Sometimes I can get lucky, you know, and get in here, and I love it when I do, because it's the patterns are pretty clear. And as you can see, the safety trade was also clear right here. So we're going to do this last one here, and then I'm going to hop off. But I just want you guys to really find that trade that you're going to look for and do every day, right? Or not every day, every time the setup presents itself, this is going to be your trade. So this was a new peak. So this was obviously one peak formation high. And again, guys, we're looking to enter above the EMAs. And this one was consolidating on the Mayo, and then it finally broke. So you could have came in here at any one of these times right here within this area. It's always good to get in a little early if you can, but if you don't want to, you can just come on in once it breaks this area right here. That could be your entry once it breaks. So let me bring my little handy dandy tool here. Okay. And then that was kind of crooked, but you can see here that you can see, guys, we have a nice little reversal candlestick there. That is your entry. Okay. Beautiful, right? And you could have used the ADR. Those ADRs right here. That could have been your exit. Okay, and then you're done. I don't know how many, I mean, that's 119, 930. I don't know how many pips. That's a lot of pips. Almost 2,000 pips, I guess. Yeah, because 180R is 1999, so it's almost 2,000, right? So, man, that's it. That's the trade. And then you're done. I mean, depending on your lot sizes and whatnot, you don't have to continue to look for other opportunities, because the opportunities presented themselves and you took them, and that's it. All right. So I hope this video made sense, and look forward to hearing back from your feedback. And we'll see you guys in the next video. All right. Have a good day.